Alright, today we're going to simplify some complex rational fractions. By complex, I simply mean that they are nested, like this. A simple fraction would be something like x over x plus 4. That's a simple fraction. These guys, like in example 1 here, are complex fractions because they're some nested fractions. Alright, the first thing we need to remember is that we can't multiply these fractions by anything other than 1. If we multiply them by anything other than 1, we're changing the fraction. So we can only multiply them by 1. But we can be clever in how we multiply them by 1. For instance, maybe we want to multiply them by x over x. X over x is 1. 2 over 2 is 1. X minus 1 divided by x minus 1, that's a form of 1 as well. So we're going to pick the lowest common denominator of what's on the top here and what's on the bottom, and we are going to use that lowest common denominator and multiply those like so. Clearly the lowest common denominator I have for the top and the bottom is x cubed, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply by x cubed over x cubed, like this. X cubed divided by x cubed. Now I'm simply going to distribute that x cubed over x cubed. And I'm going to come up with x squared minus 2x minus 3 on the top. And I'm going to divide that by 9x squared minus x to the fourth. Well, that is a much simpler fraction to deal with. And now I know how to handle a fraction like that, because it's simply a matter of factoring. So I can factor the top into x minus 3, x plus 1, and the bottom into x squared times 9 minus x, which is going to give me x minus 3, x plus 1 on the top, and x squared times 3 minus x, 3 plus x on the bottom. I can cancel something here because this x minus 3 and this 3 minus x is going to reduce to a negative 1, so I'm just going to put a negative sign out there. And when I'm all said and done, my answer is going to be negative x plus 1 over x squared times x plus 3. And how I write that top part right here is kind of up to you. If you wanted to distribute that negative sign, you could. I like to leave it on the outside. So this first problem reduced pretty easily for us. All right, let's try this second problem. The second problem, the lowest common denominator, is going to be x plus 1, which we see right here, times x minus 1, which we see right there. So I'm going to write x plus 1, x minus 1 on the top, and on the bottom x plus 1, x minus 1 on the bottom. Alright, when I multiply that out, over here with this 1, nothing is going to cancel, so I'm simply going to get x plus 1 times x minus 1, and then I'm going to get on the top minus 4 from this guy right here. But this x plus 1 is going to cancel with this x plus 1, and I'm just going to be left with x minus 1 on the top there. And then on the bottom, this guy right here, this one, nothing cancels, so I'm going to get x plus 1, x minus 1, minus 2, and this x minus 1 is going to cancel with this x minus 1, so I'm left with x plus 1. Now that's a lot easier to deal with, so if I go ahead and multiply everything out and combine like terms and do all that kind of fun stuff, I'm going to get on the top x squared minus 1 minus 4x plus 4 divided by x squared minus 1 minus 2x minus 2. I can combine like terms. I'm going to get x squared minus 4x plus 3, all divided by x squared minus 2x. Oops. Let's see if I can figure out how to erase that. Okay, so I can't figure out the erase tool, but I do know I get x squared. We'll just cross that out. minus 2x minus 3. And when I factor that, I get x minus 3, x minus 1, all over x minus 3, x plus 1. Obviously, I can do some canceling here, and I end up with an answer of x minus 1 over x plus 1, which is a whole lot simpler than what I started with. All right, last example, then you guys can go ahead and do your homework. This one's a little tougher because I have these negative exponents, and I do not like negative exponents. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those, and I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over x squared minus 1 over y squared divided by 1 over x minus 1 over y. Well, clearly our lowest common denominator now is going to be x squared y squared. So I'm going to multiply by my clever 1, which is just x squared y squared over x squared y squared. And then I'm going to go ahead and move that over a little bit, give myself a little more room. And I'm going to end up with y squared minus x squared over xy squared minus x squared y. And I could do some factoring here, so I'll move over to the left a little bit. And this becomes y minus x times y plus x, all divided by, I can factor out an xy here. And when I do that, I'm left with y minus x. Oh, look at that. I'm going to get some more canceling here. This y minus x is going to cancel with that y minus x. And I'm going to be left with y plus x divided by xy. Okay. Hopefully that gives you a good idea on how to start your homework. Good luck with your testing, and I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching.